Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Medical Classes by Dr. Srinidhi Kumar Acharya. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also please give your valuable comments. You can also visit the playlist. In the playlist, I have provided almost all the topics in a very systematic order, and this is quite convenient for the study. Hope you will make use of it. Thank you very much. Now, today we shall have a very special topic, which is also theme of this year's 2025 breastfeeding week, that is prioritize the breastfeeding and create sustainable support system. Now the question comes, prioritization of the breastfeeding, why it should be done. Now, as we know, breast milk is considered as best milk, and there is no substitution for the breast milk. This is a gift of the nature, and also this is a right of the baby. So, in all the sense, maybe the nutritional parts, maybe the psychological parts, maybe the immunity parts, and maybe the cognitive part. Breast milk is the best milk. I hope you understood. Breast milk is mainly for the brain. This is one of the speciality of the breast milk, apart from the nutrition, apart from the complete nutrition to the baby. Breast milk is very, very important for the proper growth of the brain, is one more important part. Now, why I am telling is, as we know that the development and growth and development of the brain is very maximum in the first 2 years of the life. About 90% of the brain growth takes place in the first 2 years of the life, which is evidenced by increasing the head circumference by 10 centimeters in the first 1 year. That means that growth of the brain is maximum in the first year and also in the second year. So when brain is growing, it is very much important to provide the required raw materials or ingredients for its growth. Now, interestingly, it is only the breast milk which contains all the required ingredients which is required for the proper brain growth in the form of the lipoproteins, sphingomyelin, etc. Essential fatty acids, then some of the proteins, lipoproteins, they are abundantly present in the breast milk, which is very much required for the growth of the brain. Now, if you take these ingredients from the other food substances individually, you have to take a lot of food. But God has given such a gift that in a breast milk itself, all these materials are present, that too in completely absorbable form. So this being the case, breast milk is very, very important for the brain growth. And those who are not giving the breast milk in the first year of the life or second year of the life, if possible, they're definitely doing a big mistake, that their baby will be cognitionally in the lower part compared to the other kids. Therefore, the first thing is why we have to prioritize the breastfeeding is because it is very much essential for the brain growth. IQ level, intelligence level, cognition level, or what do you mean to say, a holistic developments, that will be in the upper part, especially in those kids who are breastfed exclusively or breastfed up to 2 years of the life. Number one. Number two is breast milk is very important for the immunity. Now, this is, everybody knows the immunological properties of the breast milk. Breast milk has got such an abundant ingredients which are present, which contains many antiviral substances, antibacterial substances, antiparasitic substances, so many immunoglobulins like secretory IgA. So such naturally available immune substances are there in the breast milk. When given to the baby, naturally it protects the baby from almost all the types of the infections. A breastfed baby will exclusively breastfed baby will have no any infections. There may be some GIT upsets, vomiting, etc. That is because of overfeeding or underfeeding, or then feeding from the outside, or faulty feeding techniques. That may lead to some of the GIT disturbances, but there is no infection. If you go for exclusive breast milk, there will not be any infection. Therefore, immunity part, it provides a natural immunoglobulins. Okay, secretory IgA is a natural immunoglobulin which is provided through the breast milk, which protects the baby from so many infections. Okay, And one more thing is breast milk contains such substances which also sensitize the body immune system. When the breast milk is given to the baby, it contains certain substances which not only gives a natural immunity to the baby, okay, ready-made immunity to the baby, but also they helps to sensitize the immune cells so that in future the good quality of the immune cells will be formed. Similarly, in the brain also, the breast milk, it gives a scope for production of the high quality neuron, so that cognitional level will be higher in the future life. One more important thing that we need to stress is the species specific and baby specific nature of the breast milk. Now, what is the meaning of this species specific and baby specific? Species specific means breast milk is very specific to particular species, human species, animal species. Okay, the milk which is produced by the animal like cow, etc., buffalo, etc., it is very specific to its species. Okay, a cow's milk is better. That means a cow's milk is formulated in such a way that it is conducive for the growth of the baby of the cow. Now, if you see the baby of the cow, immediately after birth, within 5 minutes probably it will stand up, and within a half an hour probably it is running. That means growth process is very, very fast in animals. So breast milk which is produced from the animal is according to that. They contains high amount of the protein, they contains high amount of the calcium, phosphorus, etc. to meet the growth demand. But when you see the human babies, so they usually take 1 year to stand up. That means growth process is quite slower, and maybe 2 years for running. Okay, so therefore growth process is slower. So breast milk which is produced in the human beings is according to this particular phase of the growth. Okay, therefore they contain less amount of the proteins, less amount of the calcium, they contain more amount of the carbohydrate, etc. So what I mean to stress is breast milk is always species specific. For the humans, human milk is best. For the animals, animal milk is best. But if you give the animal milk to the humans, that too in the early part, not in the later part, after 3 or 4 years it's not a big issue. Okay, but in the early part, if you give this, that creates a lot of problem. Okay, proteins may not be get digested. The animal proteins cannot be get digested, especially casein-like substances, may create allergy, may not be get digested properly, and may lead to GIT upsets. Similarly, calcium in excess when it is present in the animal milk given to the human baby, so that calcium will going to cause some constipation by forming the calcium salts and leads to so many GIT disturbances. So therefore, it's very difficult. Okay, if you change the species. So for breast milk of the same species should be always provided to the baby. Therefore, what Ayurveda says is, if the mother's milk is not available, don't go for the animal milk. Rather than that, the second option which is given in Ayurveda is Datri. Because Datri's milk, when you provide, it becomes of the same species. Okay, instead of changing the species, at least you are providing the breast milk of the same species. So therefore, if the mother is not available, go for Datri. If Datri is also not available, then there is no option. Then you have to go for the animal milk with some modification. Stanya bhave kindeya, with some modification. Like it should be added with Sita, it should be added with Panchavalkala, it should be added with the Lagu Panchamala drugs, etc. So this shows the species specific nature of the breast milk. The same has been also highlighted when they explain the selection of the Datris, Datri Pariksha. So they thought even the mother is not available, okay, mother's milk is not available, go for Datri's milk. In the Datri's milk also you get ensured that Datri is from same Kula, same Jati, same Varna. Why? Because they want to make it more specific, species specific. That's the reason. Okay, so suppose one particular race, Varna means race. So you are selecting the Datri, but that Datri is of different race. Then there may be some change in the specificity. Don't give an option for that. Try to select the Datri of the same Kula or same race or same caste, so that species specific nature of the breast milk will be highly fulfilled. Similarly, they says that the breast milk is also baby specific. What is the meaning of that? Breast milk of a mother who delivered a preterm baby Her breast milk is more specific to preterm baby. There is no need to give any other breast milk or doing some modification in the animal milk, etc., or top feeding, etc. If you provide the breast milk of a preterm baby, that milk will be formed in such a way that it is fulfilling all the requirements of the preterm baby. It contains more amount of the proteins, easily digestible proteins, like that. And if it is for the term baby, it is suitable to it's suitable to meet all the demand of the term baby, and similarly for the post-term baby. Therefore, breast milk is also called as baby specific. Therefore, species specific and baby specific nature of the breast milk is very, very important and very interesting. And we have to follow the same method. If you try to give the breast milk of the other species, definitely it needs some modification and it may also create a lot of problems. However, the level you try to humanize it, okay, it will not be completely humanized. Third important point in the why we have to prioritize the breastfeeding is about the maternal bonding. Now, maternal bonding is very, very important. So, breast milk feeding is not simply a mechanical process, or it's simply not a method of fulfilling the nutritional need. It also has got psychological impact. Maternal bonding with the mother is very, very important, and breast milk gives an opportunity to develop the proper maternal bonding. If you observe when the mother is feeding the baby, baby is observing the face of the mother continuously. And that particular eye contact between baby and mother plays a vital role in development of the maternal bonding, which is unexplainable. Okay, so once the maternal bonding is proper, mother will have a proper abundant breast milk secretion, baby will be also happy, mother will be also happy. So many problems will be resolved there only. Okay, but thing is, a very, very intensive and structured involvement of the mother in the breastfeeding is very important. Suppose baby is feeding and mother is looking somewhere while the baby is looking at her face, then this creates a lot of problem and a lot of confusion in the baby also. So therefore, maternal bonding is very, very important, which is given by this breast milk feeding. Therefore, always we say that feeding should be always done in an isolated area or in a very private area. Okay, a private room should be provided to the mother. She cannot feed the baby in front of everybody because this particular maternal bonding may not be possible there. Mother need to talk to the baby, observe the baby, smile at the baby while baby is feeding, and reciprocally baby is giving the response, and that is the key point for maternal bonding. This need a separate room, this need a private room. So always we say that mother and baby should be isolated from the others. Okay, not baby and mother should be isolated. Baby and mother as a unit should be isolated from the other family members, at least at the time of feeding, which is very, very important for development of the proper maternal bonding, sneha bhavat. So this is one important thing. Now another is pacification of the oral phase. Now nutritional is over, psychological is over. Now there is psychosexual development. Now see, sexuality will be present in each and every person throughout the life. Okay, but the way of presentation is different. In the adult life or in the adolescence life, the sexuality will be there with the opposite sex. Okay, or sexuality will be there because of different hormonal influences, etc., and there will be undue attraction towards the opposite sex, etc. But this sexuality in the older period, that means when you are very old, at the age of 70 or 80 years, so this will be present in another phase. The presentation will be different. Okay. Similarly, a newborn baby will also have the sexual feeling, and that sexual feeling has to be satisfied whatever may be the age. Okay. So usually in the older age, what actually happens is the grandfather, grandmother, so they will have very much love and affection towards their grandsons. Okay. So they will be always there. And that is actually one of the way of sexual gratification. Similarly, for the in the adolescence period, yes, opposite sex, and later in the adult period, adult life will have marriage life and sexual contact with the wife and all those things, partners, etc. But what about the newborn? Even the newborn also has got this sexual want this sexual gratification, but presentation is different. So sexual gratification, this is what I'm explaining, is according to Sigmund Freud's theory. Okay, so this sexual gratification in the newborn period will be again classified in four types. The first 2 years it will be their oral phase. In the next 2 years it will be there in the anal phase, then phallic phase. Like that, the division was done by Sigmund Freud. But a newborn immediately after birth, it tried to get sexual gratification through the mouth. Okay, later parts through the anal. You may be knowing after 2 years, a baby is frequently touching the genitals and anal area. So that is one of the way of sexual gratification attained by the baby. Okay, the method employed by the baby to attain the sexual gratification. Similarly, in the first phase, the sexual gratification will be from the oral phase. That means mouth and tongue. So when this mouth and tongue is waiting for the sexual gratification, in the meantime, if you go for the breast milk feeding in the form of sucking, then it fulfills the sexual gratification of the baby, and in future the personality development and behavioral development of the baby will be normal. Now see, it is very known fact that when the sexual gratification is not fulfilled, we will be get agitated, we will be get irritated, we will be get frustrated, isn't it? Similarly, same thing also occurs to the baby. The sexual gratification which has to be gratified through the oral phase by one or the other way stimulation of the mouth, if it is done by means of breast milk feeding in the form of sucking, then that itself is a method that itself will carry out the satisfaction to the baby sexually. Okay, so that is called as oral phase. If you want to detail, you can refer oral phase. So therefore, breastfeeding is not only nutritional, but breastfeeding is not only of psychological importance, breast milk is also psychosexually important. So this is a new fact, isn't it? So we should know the importance of the breast milk, because if the baby is agitated, irritated, baby is not fulfilling that particular psychosexual phase of oral phase, then baby will be agitated, irritated, then it adversely affects the personality of the child, behavior of the child. So in future when the baby develops, so it will have a lot of psychological problems. To subside that, so this is one of the best method. So this is one part where we have to prioritize the breastfeeding. Prioritize the breastfeeding. Priority should be given to the breastfeeding, because it is not a one-way benefit. It's a multiple benefits are there. Few of the benefits I have explained here. In the next class, we will further explain some more benefits, why we have to prioritize the breastfeeding. Thank you very much.